Hey guys, so today I'm going to be filming a video about how I found out that I was 15 and pregnant. Around May, like the first week of May, that first week I had realized that I had been really tired and exhausted, and I couldn't wake up for school, but I was going to bed on time. I was going to bed extremely early actually, and I just couldn't figure out why. And so obviously that was getting me in trouble with my grandma, and she was like, why aren't you waking up? Like, I don't understand. And I'd sleep through alarms, I'd sleep through everything. And then once I finally got back into a routine of going to school, I had gotten in trouble in class and got ISS. If you don't know what ISS is, it's in-school suspension, where you sit in a quiet room and you sit there. And so I had ISS one day, and during ISS I realized I was really sick, and I got really nauseous out of nowhere, and I had no idea where it was coming from. So I politely asked the teacher if I could go to the restroom, and he said no. And so I was like, okay, well, let's not get yourself in more trouble. Let's just, try to live this out, and you can go to the bathroom whenever lunchtime comes. So I was like, okay. And then it was still 2 hours until lunch, and I still did not feel any better. I had started kind of gagging in my mouth and everything, and I tried not to let anybody see, of course. And I told him, I was like, I can't handle this anymore. I was like, I have to go to the nurse, and I have to go now. He was like, well, you have 10 minutes until lunch, so go at lunch. And so I was like, okay. So I went to the nurse's office, and I was like, I don't feel good at all. I'm really nauseous. She was like, well, you don't look nauseous. I was like, but I am. I was like, I feel awful. And she was like, have you missed your period? Is anything else going on? Do you have cramping in your stomach? I was like, my stomach's kind of cramping a little bit, and I kind of have a headache. And so she checked my temperature, and she was like, well, you don't have a temperature. And she was like, so have you missed your period? And I was like, it's supposed to come sometime this week. And she was like, are you sure? And I was like, let me check my app, because if you guys don't know about the app, it's Clue. This video is not sponsored, but I use the Clue app to track my period and to make sure that everything's on time, because I used to be on birth control, and that's how I'd kind of keep up with everything. And so I noticed that my period was 9 days late. And I told her, I was like, I am late on my period, like, I don't know what's going on. And she was like, could you be pregnant? And I was like, psh, what? No, not me. Like, I can't be pregnant. Like, that's not me. Like, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not that person. Like, I'm not that girl in high school. Well, a few days, she was like, okay, well, keep me updated. If you get your period, let me know. So a few days went by, and still no sign of a period. And so the following week, it was a weekend whenever I went to the nurse's office the first time. Like, it was that Friday. The next Tuesday, I had went in, and I was like, I still haven't got my period. And she was like, okay, well, I think you need to take a test. So I sent my boyfriend to go to get a pregnancy test that night, so I could take it at school on the next day. So the next day, I had, gotten the test, and I had borrowed a cup from my math teacher. I didn't borrow the cup, it was a plastic cup that I could throw away. And I had, I took the cup, and I peed in the cup and used the dropper and dropped the pee on the pregnancy test. And I turned around to, throw away everything, and I looked down, and I was like, that's 2 lines, like that's positive. And of course I started freaking out, and I was like, what am I gonna do? And so I told my boyfriend, and he was like, everything's gonna be okay, like, we can do this. And we went and talked to the guidance counselor and the nurse and everything. And later on that day, I went to the doctor, which is a whole nother story. So yeah, I was really scared and really nervous, and I was crying and freaking out, and I didn't really know what to do. But that's basically how I found out I was pregnant. the next video that I make will be telling my friends and family and parents and my boyfriend's parents, and he will also be in that video. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I will be doing weekly updates. At this point, I'm 14 weeks pregnant and I am due January 15th. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Please stay tuned.